choices.
Oh, good
What
to
you
have
like
you.
movie this time?
Good to have you back.
Also, who's your friend from university, I suppose?
Uh, from high school.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to meet you.
Just me too.
Yeah, we also met in high school.
That's pretty cool. Me and Josh been in culinary.
Oh, me and Josh met in physics.
Hmm.
Nice. Mm, mm, mm.
What am I hearing in the background? Is that you?
If you're hearing
Yeah,
anything in
she's
the background, if you're hearing something in my background,
Yeah.
that'll most likely be the cafeteria. Sorry.
You're feeling this at school, huh?
I am though about to leave. I'm just putting away my dishes.
nice.
All right.
Mhm.
So we're all well oriented, right?
Mhm.
Yes, yes, yes. Come on, let's get going.
Okay, okay, okay. Don't need to rush me.
Because I already know what your opinions are, and they're garbage.
I changed them around, I swear.
Yes, you changed them around. You just made one movie slightly higher and a good one worse.
Mm-hmm. Nice try.
Oh, did he?
Okay,
Are you positive? Are you sure? Are you sure?
this is my Pixar tier list, the correct one. I misspelled Pixar. What the fuck?
My PR.
My
Or
PR. My PR tier list. Okay. Also, I'm not sure why this is red. Anyway, we have 5 tiers, so we need to make some stuff up. Hold on.
Nah. Like I feel like we should just base it on like the Sonic ranking system, like from S to no S to E.
E.
I've never even heard of an E ranking.
It's the worst.
E ranking. Do you know there used to be an E grade, but apparently people thought it meant excellent because people are not very smart nowadays.
And no,
That's
you do kind
hilarious.
of realize that like some like I think I once saw one school I once went to that like they gave me an E rank and it was like not excellent but it was like mediocre like barely entering like and like a 70 we could say so it's like it wasn't that good like you're passing but it's like eh.
How fun.
So I decided to make these just tiers, just like famous quotes from Pixar, and by that I mean only Toy Story because I don't know anything else. Which
And yet you decided to rank all Pixar movies.
someone's
How
put.
about that?
I have my notes. Look, I have a little journal of notes. I don't know. I went on this huge Pixar just binge because I thought, you know what? Let's see if these movies are actually amazing. What should the middle tier be, you think? I'm pretty good with these four. I just don't know what the middle should be.
Mm,
I'm trying to think of a joke from Toy Story, but I can't think of any. Like you kind of did like
Mm-hmm.
like the best phrases from it. Iconic, but
Ride like the
mm,
wind bullseye. No,
nah.
you're
No,
my
I would say that that would be like
okay.
no. For the one at the bottom, you can move the last two up. Pick the bottom one. I don't want to play with you anymore.
Oh wait, that is really good. Hold up.
that is absolutely gutted.
Uh, Ad
I don't
roll.
want to play with you anymore.
New.
Just drops.
Okay, wait. I don't want to play. Damn, that's wordy. No, I think it was like dot dot dot.
Yeah.
Wait,
Also, you put an apostrophe on want. You
oops.
there's no apostrophe.
Okay, wait. I don't. Wait, did it say I don't wanna or I don't want? Hold on.
I'm checking it right now.
Oh wait, I don't wanna. There we go. I think I misspelled
I
wanna.
don't wanna to. Yeah, that's the correct word.
I don't
I
wanna.
don't wanna to play with you anymore.
Okay, I think these are all good. So we have our 5 tier list. I don't want to play with you anymore. Someone's poisoned the water hole, which is my favorite. There's a snake in my boot. Reach for the sky and to infinity and beyond. I feel like these sound pretty good.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay then.
you don't sound enthusiastic. Okay, so
If I say
Dude, I know
opinion,
your opinions.
I've changed them around. I promise.
I
Right.
promise that it has changed 100% entirely.
Look,
Although
I introduced these new, so it's obviously better than the previous one.
Wait, is it even fair to like rank the last five? I mean, the last four, because like
I
they haven't even come out.
Yeah, I know. I just included them because, well, we know they're coming out, so I thought, well, might as well just rank them like just based on conceptually, like what we know so far, which isn't much, all things
about how
considered.
Can you please put
how
Coco 2
excited
in
you
the
all for it.
last one, the bottom one? Coco 2, bottom one.
Okay,
Like I
okay, we're jumping the gun a bit, but sure.
because it's like, in all honesty, the original film was so great. It had a good message, such good music, a good story. Like you can't top that. But I know, like Disney's gonna do an Incredibles 2, and it's gonna end up horribly. They're gonna miss the mark by a mile.
Like what?
So that's why I just
I guess we're talking about Coco 2 now instead of Toy Story the first, but okay, my question is, what are we gonna do exactly? Ernesto's gone. Are we going back to the land of the dead? Is that it?
what do you think?
That sounds really boring.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Um,
you had such a good story in the first one, in the original, that like it feels honest to me, like impossible to go back to the dead or like have a good reason unless they're gonna be like, oh, Miguel's grown up. He has a daughter because apparently every father, every boy that grows up has a daughter, which I have nothing against that, but it's like, oh, their daughter goes into the land of the dead and
Wait,
does some shenanigans. Like
really? Is
that's
that what we know
every
about?
2010. No, I'm making fun of it because like
Oh.
that is what a typical 2010s movie did like
I'll
back
be
then.
honest, I
Like
thought that was the plot for a second. Like, that actually sounds like.
that should yeah, that should tell you that if you yourself believe that that was the plot, then it honestly could be, or if not, is the plot because like that's what most films did back then when they had like a successful franchise. Like, oh, we're gonna have them grow up and like they're gonna have children and they're gonna mess things up as always. Because kids are gremlins, but not the kids that you grew up with. No, they're perfectly saints.
Uh.
Anyways,
So,
that or some,
let's start. Toy Story the first. How do we feel about this one?
it's a pretty good
eh,
movie.
Really?
4.5.
4.5? 4.5? Like,
Dude,
this one's a classic, right? Come on.
It is indeed a classic.
yeah, but just because it's classic doesn't mean it deserves the best. Like, it's good. I'm not saying it should go with 3. Like, it's fine at 4, but like anything higher, it's like, no.
Obviously I'm not putting a top 5. It's gonna keep expanding. But like, to be honest, the animation, honestly, it could look worse. It could truthfully look worse. The animation. Um,
Listen, it may look like plastic, but it works for all the toy characters because they're supposed to be plastic.
one
That
thing
or fabric.
one thing I wasn't prepared for, I have my notes right here. Like, I literally took bullet points. One thing I was not prepared for was how much of a dick Woody was. Like, he was an asshole. I just must have forgotten that. Like,
Okay, can you say
Uh,
something about that? Like, it just feels like it's kind of like the same, or like the character's kind of the same, like with Lightning McQueen in Cars. Like, yes, he's a prick, but he eventually learns to ease up. Like,
I love how you
yes, I can
say
say that, like, the
I love
opposite.
how you say it's the same, even though this movie came out long before Cars even got thought of, before its
if
conception.
you
Yeah, yeah, but
if you
the
want the
character's basically.
actual if you want the actual most likely thing that it was based off of, it was inspired by the typical thing where it's like best friend getting replaced, therefore best friend is like insulted and cringe. Sorry, not cringe. Just how could you possibly replace me, your best friend, with this new friend? It's like
Yeah,
I'm just
fair enough,
hanging out,
but
with
like,
me.
but yeah, like I could compare like the well, No, it's just I kind of have the same feelings with Lightning McQueen, like how
Mm.
he started like cocky, like he's the best of the best. You know, Woody's like he thinks that like he's the only one and never gets replaced. So in all honesty, I feel like now that I think about it, they just copied the plot for Cars 3. Like they get replaced,
Oh, don't worry.
basically.
I have a lot to say about Cars 3. Wink, wink. Anyway,
Cars 3 isn't the worst. It's a lot. It's Cars 3 isn't the worst. It's a lot better than Cars 2.
so Sid.
Yeah.
Unless there's something else to say.
Okay, I think we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Let's get back to Toy Story the first. Sid is he a villain? He's honestly more a sociopath than anything else.
Uh,
Yeah.
Like I feel like that
he-
kid is having real like he needs a therapist sooner or later. That's all I'm saying.
he definitely is a therapist after getting traumatized by all the toys. So
Oh
you can't
yeah,
entirely say that he's a psychopath because it's not like he really knows that the toys are alive. He just likes taking apart his toys.
no, he's a sociopath. I think that's the better term. Also, speaking of which, that part was hilarious. The part where he gets traumatized was arguably the part where I laughed the most. In fact, this movie in general is actually pretty funny. Now that I think about it.
Sid gets traumatized in the next like couple movies. You see him as a garbage man trying to make sure that toys don't get thrown away after learning that they're
Yeah, yeah,
sentient.
yeah. He's canonically the garbage man from Toy Story 3. Glad to see he got over it. Good for him. Like yeah, this movie's pretty great. The side characters are pretty fun, even despite the screen time. Like I remember pretty much like all the big quotes from this movie. Toy, like yeah, this it's
Yeah,
not
yeah, we get it.
it's
Come
not
Big
on.
it's
to
not
the
S tier.
sky.
Okay, Bugs Life. Um,
I'll be honest,
Of
that is like
life.
the only that is to me, that is the only like original Disney film that I have not yet seen. Like I have
That's
the
not even a
Finding
Disney
Nemo,
film.
I have
really.
Finding Dory, I have Cars 2, Toy
I'm
Story
s-
2, I think, 3,
I'm
like
I'm sorry to let you
Monsters
know.
Inc. But like this is the only one that I have never seen.
So I liked this movie as a kid, and I think we all did. But looking back, eh, it's not the best. Definitely not. I feel like this. I wouldn't say it's not poisoning the water hole, but it's definitely like the bottom of Snake Boot.
Is it?
I feel like what really kills this movie is the liar reveal plot. Like you know about that, right?
I don't remember any line review of plot. I remember that there is the militant grasshopper that basically just says, "There's a million of them and 100 of us, and when one steps out of line, this happens," and then kills one of the
Okay,
henchmen.
I will give this movie credit. It accurately has one of the best Pixar villains, Hopper. I'm being serious. He's way too good for this movie.
I don't know. As I said, I have not seen this film, so I'm just gonna stay silent.
I've seen it though. I've seen it once or twice when I was really young.
So like the plot, also spoilers for quite literally everything here. So the plot is about Flick, right? He needs to find an army to defeat against the grasshoppers, which okay. So they have to get the food, right? And but they
Yeah.
for some reason put it on the edge of a cliff on like a top of like small rocks. And I don't know, I feel like that's just poor planning on their part.
It sounds a bit accurate for maybe you know.
And so he needs to find these bugs in order to fight back. And he finds these circus bugs, and he has to hide the fact they're circus bugs. And so they make this big bird, right? Made of leaves and whatnot. And then, the circus leader, who's a flea, which I think is hilarious. I think that was the funniest, like, self-aware joke. Anyway,
If I remember a flea is as in fact I think you can find this at a circus where like they're actually trained or something.
yeah, you can actually train fleas.
Yeah,
Anyway,
so I'd say that that's why it was there.
Anyway, he finds them and he's like, well, these guys aren't warriors, they're circus bugs. And like everyone turns on Flick and like they're allowed to be mad at him. I'm not pretending they shouldn't be. I would be mad at him. But at this point, when they have so little time and so little food to share, might as well go with the bird idea, right? Just say, we did a thing, it didn't work out. We tried. Like right? Might as well go with that.
Better to die
Nah.
than live
Double
as he
down.
is. enslaved man or something.
And
Always invest in crypto, as they say.
Oh, he's investing crypto. That's what
and
I
like
always say.
and
My
like
mother tell me.
so and I'm gonna be really blunt. These characters are not the best. Like the characters aren't bad, but everyone besides Hopper is not great. If I can be really blunt,
Characters aren't bad. They're just not good. Like,
you're you're
yeah.
bad at being bad. So like, I don't dislike this movie. I don't think it's my childhood. I don't think I could dislike it, but I do think like really bottom of this tier. I just can't see it. Toy Story 2 on the other hand, ooh, I
Oh
think
yeah, no, that's above Toy Story 1. Toy
yeah,
Story 1
Toy Story.
above.
I'm trying to like, I had to like read. Okay, that was weird. Anyway, yeah, Toy Story 2 is pretty good. And like we all know why, right? Right?
Uh, I do believe so. Did have to forget the thing, but the main thing I remember is Buzz, I am your father or whatever.
Zurg.
Yeah.
I
No.
feel like when like obviously there's a lot of great stuff like it introduces like Jesse and Bullseye and also I don't want to play with you any I don't know why. I guess I just like the trauma scenes in these movies. They're some of the funniest parts.
You're damaged. I don't want to play with you anymore. But if I'm gonna be honest, if a kid's saying I don't want to play with you anymore, it's more likely, at least if it was me, that I just don't want to destroy the toy.
Hmm.
It's like, okay, you're damaged. Like you have a sizable rip in this. You're basically a plushie. I don't really want to play with you anymore because of the fact that I could destroy you if I continue to.
Like I think what makes this movie work I keep saying like a lot. Ugh. I think what makes this movie work is that it's such a good sequel. Like it builds off everything. It gives the characters more screen time. It has Weird Al from Al's Toy
Wait,
Barn.
what?
I'm just kidding. I mean,
The Chicken Man,
the Chicken
right?
Man.
Do you know the Chicken Man, the Chicken Man, the Chicken Man? Do
Yeah,
you know the Chicken Man who wants to sell some toys?
like it actually breaks down like what it means to be a toy. And Jessie, like her backstory is perhaps one of the saddest parts in all of Pixar. What a great depiction of like abandonment. But I'd say it's my favorite Pixar movie. I don't think it's S tier worthy though. Is that a bit
Yes, it
controversial?
is. No.
Oh, what? Toy Stories 2? It's really good. There's definitely A tier to, I'd say, low S tier, maybe. I don't know.
It's definitely high A tier, but okay, if you didn't like me putting it not putting it in S tier, I don't think you're gonna like me putting Monsters Inc. above Toy Story 2. I
Monsters Inc. is really good, and so is Monsters University.
it's really good, Monsters Inc. Another childhood classic.
I mean, it's always the classics. Everything that Pixar made from like 20, like what? No, not 20. Like their initial film in 1995, which
1996.
was Toys. I thought it was 1995.
No, Pixar is oh. So Pixar is
Like their
technically
first film.
Pixar's
I
older,
thought it was their
but
film, not when they're founded.
can you talk about like the fact that the twist villain is not only
Yeah, yeah, yep. 1995. 1995. November 22nd, 1995 is when Toy Story was released.
really? Dang.
Yep,
Got that way off
I
the
was
mark.
correct. Though, yeah, any film that they made between that period of time, I think like what, like the early 2010s was like the pinnacle of Pixar.
Yeah. I'd say if there's one problem I think wrong with this movie is the fact that okay. So I know you can generate power from sound, right? But why does it have to be human kids? Like
It's not precisely that they're generating from sound, they're generating it from an emotion. To which, as far as they were aware, the only one that they could use is fear, most likely because the fact is like, they open up a door and it's like they have a very basic light bulb that's running off of maybe fuel.
like the
And what do they find? They find themselves in a completely different dimension with a kid. The kid screams, and then that causes like their light bulb to short circuit. So they're going to be like, "Hey, we could maybe make some power with this."
so,
And then it just became an industry.
Yeah, they.
Yeah, in all honesty, that kind of sounds like pretty human. Like thinking like it's like, oh, we found something to work once. We're not you're gonna try to innovate with that technology. But then someone else comes with like another way to like, oh, there's another way? Like we
Technically,
didn't know
it's
that.
I
technically it
feel
still
like
wasn't a bad way to do it. It's like it's better for their environment. It's like, yeah, you're scaring the kid a couple of times. Like, what kid hasn't been scared? In the end, you get over it at some point.
I.
You'll most likely just think it's a dream.
Yeah, that's like the only problem I could think of, and that the screen power doesn't make the most amount of sense. Also, the whole I didn't realize it, but that whole kidnapping 1,000 children before let this company die, and that scream extractor thing was actually more horrifying than I thought it was. That's
It
actually
definitely
ter-
is brutal, but I think you can semi understand his thing. Because
also.
it's like what that company has been in his family for years, and it's just that with him, it happened to have been that his legacy, like his family's legacy, had started to die out. You know, the thing that they're known for.
I think the thing I really want to give credit to this movie. Its twist villain's perhaps one of the best. Warnoose, like the actual CEO being the villain, honestly, way ahead of its time. Truly,
It's definitely a lot better than it was his mistake or something. Sorry, that was his mistake or something. Yeah, or something like
do
that.
you want to
You
do
know,
it?
with
Oh, I would gladly tear apart Big Hero 6, but it's not part of this ranking. Oops. But like, yeah, this movie's pretty
Oh
good.
yeah.
oh yeah, I remember that movie. That movie was
No,
ass.
no, I forgot that it's Disney, not Pixar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be too honest. I
I
thought
mean,
that movie
Pixar
was
is
made by
basically Disney
Pixar.
with like a different mask at this point.
I wonder.
Eh,
It could have theoretically been that Pixar was this like the Pixar Animation Studio was one that made Big Hero 6, but it's that Disney was one that commissioned and released it.
Okay, so like this movie's amazing. Mike and Sully are like two of my favorite Pixar protagonists. They have such great banter. And you'll see in this and you'll see in the prequel coming up. No. I think Toy Story 2 is below Monsters Inc. I don't think that's a bit controversial. Finding Nemo, ooh boy.
Finding Nemo is a
or
good movie, but I wouldn't say it's a great movie.
I'd
At best, I would say either that it is at high, there's a snake in my boot, or low, reach for the
really.
sky. Yeah, it's a good movie, but it's not. I would say like an amazing one.
It's not amazing, you'd say.
Yeah,
I forgot where I put it.
fine. I'd say Finding Dory was worse. It's like I'd say they're about the same with like Finding Dory and Finding Nemo, but it's also just that I
So
think Finding Dory is worse.
so I get a lot of people love this movie, and I can see why. The parenthood, like people like to say you have to be like the character to understand them, but I'm not a toy. I'm not a monster. I'm not a buggy. I understand these characters perfectly. And the same thing happens
Well,
here. I'm not a
it's not that you have
parent.
to be. It's not that you have to be exactly like them, but you have to be able to like understand what they could represent in order to relate to them. Because yeah, of course, an alien that's like, let's say that you looked at, I don't know,
Hmm.
trying to think, what is a good like Admiral Akbar? I suppose if you looked at him, it's like, oh yeah, I can't relate to you in any way. Like even
Hmm.
if you read books that involved him, but it's also like, no, that's not really what defines if you're able to relate to a character or not. It's based off of who they are and what they could represent. Like, oh yeah, I can relate to perseverance, determination. I could relate to like fear and suffering or whatever else.
So, I forgot I wrote this down. Apparently, one of the points I written down was water in Pixar finally looks good. That's verbatim what I wrote down. I mean, this movie has pretty good looking water. That's all I'm saying.
I think most of that stuff wasn't even that there was really actual water in it. I imagine that most of it was just lighting effects. And then they would
Mhm.
just have a a water texture at the top if they ever had any shots above the water.
So I uh, another great part, Dory. I think Dory is perhaps one of the. I get why people love Dory because honestly, she's pretty perfect.
She's good, but I also think that she's maybe a bit annoying, I think.
No, I think she's more annoying in the.
From what I remember.
I feel like she gets just the right amount of screen time. I like Finding Dory, but we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that might be what flipping is giving me that opinion because I think again I watched Finding Dory more recent than flipping Finding Nemo.
I is it better than Toy Story? Oof.
No,
It's,
that's a solid no. I'm sorry.
you're right. No, Toy Story is just too much of a classic. I
It's
can't.
also just better writing. Also, if you want to see an evil version of Woody, go search up the original like screenwriting for Woody, where it's like
Oh, the original plots are crazy.
the original storyboard. Now, either get in line, or I'm gonna put you into the back of the truck.
Like, obviously, if you love this movie, if you think this is one of the best Pixar movies, all power to you. I could definitely see why, but I just don't think it's one of my favorites. But this one is. Incredibles is actually just amazing. No notes.
Incredibles is something very good. I watched it recently with you, Josh,
Yeah, I know.
and it is flipping.
It's one of
In,
them.
Invincible 2 is just it's like the only thing you're able to give is Invincible 2. Like no,
Incredibles.
sorry, not Invincible, Incredible. Sorry, I'm just being dumb.
Invincible. That's a good. That's
I'm
a good
thinking of the
show,
wrong
though.
thing.
Invincible. That's a good show.
I have not. I sadly have not watched it yet. There's a lot of stuff I haven't watched. But yeah, Incredibles 2 is just like a cheap knockoff that just looks better in comparison to flipping Incredibles 1.
Looking better is a bit of an overstatement, if I can be really blunt. But anyway,
The visuals, technically, in terms of polygons, is technically higher. So it's like, and it looks good. There's also, I think that the lack of polygons fits the style better.
so like everyone knows why this movie's amazing. Syndrome's the best Pixar villain. I don't think there's anyone could argue with that. It's the most mature. Like actually, just one of the most mature. It's
And when everyone's super,
no
no one
one will
will
be.
be.
Edna Mode's in the movie. Like, come on, this movie's pretty great. And honestly, the only thing I don't like about this movie is I already mentioned this to you, is the background characters. They have not aged the best, but like that's not its movie's fault.
You mean like what, Edna or something? That's like the main
No, no,
the
like the
number.
background. No, like talking like the background characters, like just walking around. They haven't.
Ah,
If you look closely, you'll realize you've entered Uncanny Valley. That's all I'm gonna say. That's like the only complaint I could think of this movie. It's pretty great. It definitely top three. Now
definitely a top 10.
let's talk about something that's not top three. So, how do people feel about Cars? If I could be really blunt, do you remember Cars?
Cars, Cars is an okay movie though. Mm,
Uh, I
like you're
like
talking about like just entertainment value. Cars is entertaining, but does it have anything deeper than that? No, not really.
so it.
It's just cars.
I will say it's definitely the best out of the three, but that's not really a compliment when you see where I rank the other two. It's really pedestrian, to be blunt. Like, it feels like this movie does not strive to be pretty much anything. It's hard to take this world seriously because everyone's a talking car, which obviously opens up a whole can of plot holes I don't feel like opening up because everyone's already tearing this movie to shreds, if I can be really blunt. It's it's not good. I'm gonna be really blunt. If this movie was your childhood, fine. But be honest, if it weren't for nostalgia, would you call this movie good? Like really bluntly.
I'd say it's an okay movie. It's not good though.
I I'm sorry. I just don't see the appeal. Also, how do cars also so it's been confirmed these things are
Don't
machines, right?
don't think about the lore. Some people say that they're beagles. Some people say that they're flipping like actual vehicles. It's like just don't think about it. Like just think of it as a silly world that doesn't make much sense. You can have like stupid cartoony worlds like that.
Lightning McQueen is really unlikable. Like I will give this movie this. It definitely has a good
Oh,
character arc.
he's really cocky in the beginning.
I will give that movie this. I will give the movie this. His redemption's pretty believable, and I do like the final race. I will admit those are definitely pretty good. But other than that, I feels like we're stuck in hillbilly hell. Anything you want to say, Nickett?
Dude, where do you think you live in?
I know I live in Texas, but I doesn't mean I see. Actually, I do see my few share of maters now that I think about it. Look,
Proceeds to dox herself.
good luck finding me in the
Yeah.
second. Good luck finding me in the second biggest state of the U.S. Good luck.
Hey, people are dedicated to it. They could easily find you.
No, seriously. Some guy just took a picture of the sky and took in the photo it showed a bit of a building and they managed to find where he lived.
Yeah. Do not put it out on the internet.
Hmm.
Literally, if I take a guess of what kind of person it is, it's a flipping GeoGuessr player. Because you'll see like those players will be like, this building, this grass, this is very clearly like South Africa in this specific country on this specific street. It's like, how do you know this?
They don't. That's that's the big thing. They don't. Like, it's not good. Cars is not good. I'm sorry.
It's good.
Okay, Nickett seems to be on this crusade for cars of all franchises. I can't explain why.
Better than Bug's Life.
Give it a C, I'd say. Give it a middle.
No, this thing has poisoned my water hole.
I'd say that's a bit of a stretch. It's not
Oh, okay,
that
fine,
bad.
fine, fine. It hasn't poisoned it. It just it sits there.
It's no, it's put a snake in the boot.
That's not a compliment. That's a huge insult. Okay.
That's literally your C tier. That is literally your C tier.
Uh, it feels good to talk about Ratatouille again. Like,
Ratatouille is pretty good. The only thing that you can say is that technically, they still didn't technically give off the message of anyone can cook because Linguini still can't cook.
like okay, fine. And also, I do think Skinner, like this the short guy, I do think he overstays his welcome a bit. I'm not sure how popular of opinion that is.
He's very entertaining, I would say. It's a bit funny with that's a
Linguini,
rat.
Linguini, you're fired. Also, can we,
Yo.
like everyone, I think everyone pretty much knows. Like next to Incredibles, this is the best Pixar film, at least top five at bare minimum. It's a great examination on like the struggles and ego artists have to face in pretty much anything. It cannot just pretty much any artist of any kind can relate to this movie. I can relate to this movie pretty well.
Understandable.
I think what also sets this movie apart is that Ego is not like this menacing antagonist. He's not like a Syndrome or like Water News where he has all this power. He's literally just a guy who goes around and judges food. And all he needs is just a nice, simple meal. Ratatouille is a peasant dish. And and you know what? It worked for him.
That's something that he enjoyed and it reminded him of his childhood.
I Another thing is that the movie has really great looking food. Obviously, but like the food actually looks amazing. I want to eat that. I want to eat the ratatouille, even though I always assumed the tomato in it was pepperoni as a kid.
Same.
Lol.
And I will say this: it has the best Pixar scene. I think Ego's review. I don't think anything could top that. Un- unless you guys have something else.
No, not terribly. It's a pretty good movie. It's definitely either high A tier or I'd say somewhere in
I say
S tier.
I think Ego's review. I was saying about like the scene, like Ego's review, like where he does that like huge monologue.
If I don't like it, I don't swallow.
Mm. I will say, and here's one more credit. This movie makes me like the country of France, something that's an impossibility nowadays. Sorry,
France is indeed a very cringe country.
sorry, France. I just don't respect France. I'm gonna
They
leave it
got
at that.
a they got a massive debuff after Napoleon died.
True. And they also don't fight anything. So, you know
They
what?
just lose.
I think France should just be excited we got this. They have like this amazing movie with their country. Okay. Hot take.
Someone comes.
Oh, no, no.
I
What
was
was
gonna
your?
say someone comes to. I was gonna say someone comes to watch the stream later on, or sees that video. It's like, how dare you say this about my country?
I'm sorry, your country is
I'm
cringe.
country's lovely.
If it's any consultation, America's getting worse by the day. So,
Indeed.
okay.
Yep.
I'm not sure. You've been really quiet, Nickit. So, I'm not sure where you guys rank Wally. I
Wally is wonderful. The only thing you can tell me say is there's not a lot of dialogue shit because it's like the main characters don't really speak. They say Wally.
Yes. Yes.
Eve. That's the
yeah.
only thing you can really say. But otherwise, it's like an S tier movie.
Yeah, it's a top 3 for me.
It is absolutely built like an absolute, if you want to say anything, like a goat, like greatest of all time when it comes to like translating things through like body motions and
It
just like the tone of something that a machine is saying, which is the only thing it can say. Why?
like it's crazy.
Why?
It's crazy how the movie where two robots fall in love is arguably one of the best. It's crazy.
It is absolutely great. I don't think that's like a hot take.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that's
I'd
a
be
hot. The only
I would
thing.
be so surprised if someone says, I hate Wally. I hate robots. I hate cute looking robots. I hate the fat people. They look like this or something.
Like the only thing I think might be it could use a bit more work. So, actually, no, I don't think so. So like everyone's main issue with this movie is Otto. Like you know that stupid wheel. Like
You mean the steering wheel?
yeah, the steering wheel. Did I stutter? Oops. Like the only problem. That's the only thing I can kind of agree with his lack of autonomy. But I think that's like a really good commentary, like when compared to everyone else. I also think this movie's just a great
Mm.
cautionary tale on like nature. And also hello also this movie finally let me get into Hello Dolly. Have you seen that movie? It's a musical.
Ew.
It's the song that Wally constantly plays. Those songs are from that musical.
I didn't know that.
I decided to check it out. It's really great. I constantly listen to
I'm
their
gonna,
music from the movie.
I'm gonna be one. I'm gonna be 100% honest. The only real song that I really remember from that movie is the little like
When
theme song.
time runs.
Why in large superstore, all you need.
Yeah,
That's literally the only thing I remember when it comes to like the songs.
yeah, that thing was catchy though. But please, please, no sequel to Wally. It's fine.
I'll
Thank
They'll
you,
come back for a sequel to Wally, and they will make it so then, like all the fat humans are now even more glossy and shiny.
Nito. So I
Don't worry,
think,
they'll do it specifically for you.
and guess what? I think my top 3 is pretty much filled out. I think this is everything in Infinity and Beyond. I so I'm not gonna say Pixar can make a movie as good as these 3, but I don't think it could surpass any of these 3, in my opinion. I think like that's fair, right?
They would have to do a really good job and would have to make a lot of improvements, I think.
Like I think it could be top of Reach for the Sky or even like bottom of it, but I don't think it can beat these top 3. They're just so ingrained into me. I've come to really appreciate them. Up. Okay. So Nick was really
Up is
upset.
really good.
Nick was really upset where I put it, and after giving it
Where
some
did you put
thought,
it?
I thought that. So I didn't dislike this movie, right? I thought that those two emotional scenes, like at the start and end, were like the only things worth of note because everything else I thought was just fine. That's what I thought for the
So
longest time.
basically, what I'm hearing is that you had a hot take and said, I like these two scenes, but otherwise it's like a C.
So I saw that I didn't. I saw that I just liked them. I do think the two scenes, the married life and the book, I think those are some of the best of Pixar. I can definitely see why. But everything else in this movie, like the journey and the bird and the dog, I and also the villain, I thought everything else was pretty just okay. Nothing amazing, nothing spectacular. But honestly, I decided to give it some more thought, and I've come to like this movie a lot. It's not amazing. I do think it's perhaps maybe bottom of this tier, at the very bottom. But I've come to appreciate it more. If it's any consultation, it's not being Finding Nemo, obviously, but I do like this movie nowadays. Hello?
Yeah, yeah, give me a sec.
Doing something. Sorry.
Mm. I feel like the idea of like taking a floating house it's really creative. I will give it that. Like, how do you even
It's
think?
meant to be, yeah. It's something, yeah, meant to be creative. It's meant to be a bit silly.
Like, this movie does nothing wrong. I want to make that really clear. I just think there's movies that are far better. If I could be really blunt.
I was highly expecting you to say it's kind of crazy,
Why would I say
like
it's kind of
something
crazy?
stupid or something.
It's not crazy. It's really simple. Old man has a married life. Oh no, my wife is dead. And now he wants to take his house to the falls that they always wanted to go to. It's not that hard.
It honestly is a pretty sweet goal right there. To try and complete the dream that they both had.
Uh-huh. Also, Charles Muntz is actually pretty funny. I did not give him enough credit the first time I watched him.
I'd say he's also semi-understandable since it's like, but also he just went deranged after some point.
Yeah, I do appreciate a villain who's willing to murder a child. That's always neat.
I will murder a
Right.
1,000 children if it means that I can
Bring this
prove
bird.
that this thing existed.
Bro just wants his bird. I don't know why he's the antagonist, truthfully. Okay,
It's because don't harvest silly bird with desire for chocolate.
Toy Story 3. So, do we like this movie because of its ending, or do we like this movie because of everything else? Quick question.
I don't remember. I don't remember much about Toy Story 3, but I remember that it has basically the friendly teddy bear that's actually evil Teddy
Like, bro is actually a
with
Nazi in disguise. I'm convinced.
a Nazi. Is that what you said?
Like, he's actually been compared to real world dictators, and I think that's hilarious.
Listen, this is the friendly place, and well, this is where the toys go at first. Enjoy your stay. Proceed to get torn apart.
It's better than Up. It's better than Finding Nemo. Uh, so if we're talking about like the as an ending, it's perfect. I don't think anyone's gonna argue with it as the ending. It should be. There's only 3 of these movies. There's not a fourth. And there won't be a fifth. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself.
I'm I'm sorry to let you know, but there is a fourth. It's about a spoon, specifically a spork named
It's.
Sporky. Very creative.
I feel like this movie's a lot less creative than.
A lot of the originals.
I don't want to. I think I
I don't
prefer.
want to give this movie
I
a 7 out of 10,
I'm not giving it a 7
but
out
I
of
want to
10.
give it a 7 out of 10.
It's like an 8 and 9. But is it better than the first one? Oof.
No, I did. Maybe I don't know. It's really good. That's all I can say.
I think no. I'm going with my heart. I think Toy Story 1's a better movie, but Toy Story 3 I think just hits me in the feels too hard. I think I prefer like if I were given the option, I would probably just watch Toy Story 3 again. Well, great. Now all 3 of them are now scrunched up together, and they would have been in the wrong order anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, Cars 2. Ladies and gentlemen,
Um,
this was the movie that ruined Pixar's prestigious reputation and constantly
Get
sent.
out.
And you know what? Let's give a round of applause. Come on, everyone. Give a round of applause for Cars 2.
Let me get the soundboard so you can actually hear
There
it.
are movies worse than that.
Okay, so Give a round of applause because this movie kind of marked the downfall of Pixar. Now, is it the worst Pixar movie? No, no, no. I do think there's a few other movies that I didn't like more, but like it's really bad. And do I have to explain why? Because I feel like if you just see it once, you understand everything wrong with it. It takes itself way too seriously. The spy plot line
It's
is
trying.
a really hard left turn after the first movie was just kind of about just, a guy, a racing car guy that's trying literally just finding a small
I
town
mean,
and just vibing.
and also learn not to be so cocky.
Yeah, and getting redemption. And I think what really kills this movie is everyone's an idiot. Like, I'm not saying one or two characters making bad decisions. It feels like we're watching lobotomy victims, like 90% of the time.
Or like stumbling into each other.
Yes, it's these actually professional spies can't tell Mater is a spy for like literally the third 3/4 of the movie, and it's not funny.
Listen,
It's not funny. Cars 1 at least was kind of funny.
listen. It's just that they thought that Mater was so good at being a spy that he just never wanted to drop his acting. They thought he was such a good actor, trying to play the bumbling buffoon.
The only new character I liked in this movie was the Italian car, Francesco Bernoulli. I think that was his name.
Is that is that the villain? Is that the one that basically said, made this fake gas, so then I could basically help enrich the oil industry or
Oh
something?
my god, don't get me started on the villain. Okay, the villain's plan actually makes no sense. Okay, so Miles Axelrod, right? He's rich. He did this like like the survival trek one time, and now he's
A
converted to
billionaire?
he's a billionaire. Now he's converted to electric. But plot twist, he's a lemon. And in fact, people don't respect lemons because I don't know. I guess car racism is a thing in this world. Okay.
It's because their engine isn't good enough or something. It's
Monument?
fine.
Uh, uh,
It's engineism or something.
okay. So their plan was, in order to get the parts they want, they essentially grabbed the world's largest oil reserve out in the Pacific, I think. But now instead of using this oil as like ransom, they said make this. Oh my. Okay. So they make this Grand Prix with this whole all new alternative fuel called All, and basically they're committing terrorism to make everyone go back to regular oil, which they own. Does that make sense?
They don't have to be smart in order to be a villain.
I feel like this plan would make sense if the main villain was not literally Elon Musk, because that's what everyone treats him as. He doesn't have like obvious enemies or anything like that. So why doesn't he just ask society, "Hey,
It's
we
because he's a twist villain.
this movie's really bad." I don't think it's the worst Pixar movie anymore. I do think there is actually no two, maybe three actually. I do think there's three movies that were worse than this, but like it's really bad. I'm so sorry. If you like
I'm sorry
this,
for anyone that actually likes this film.
if you like this movie, cause I will give it this. It's definitely more enjoyable than like Good Dinosaur, cause it's so crazy and off the wall. But I'm
I thought Good
sorry.
Dinosaur was made by Disney.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, no, I actually gotta do something real quick. You guys have a nice night. See ya.
you too.
Oh, good night then.
It's not the worst Pixar movie, but like yeah. Don't worry, we found something. Cars 2 won't be alone anymore. I never liked Brave. I'm not sure if that's a hot take or not.
Honestly, I'm gonna be so 100% for real. I also thought that was a Disney movie.
Can't even remember what movies are which.
It's a princess movie.
So like Brave's really
What
bad.
is?
Uh, I honestly argue Cars 2 at least like it was so like the idea was so serious that I just went around to be it wrapped around to being funny. The Brave is not funny. I kind of feel nothing towards this movie. So like okay, so the main plot is about this princess and she doesn't want to be princess, but her mom wants her to be princess. So she finds this weird witch just out in the middle of nowhere, and she asks for a spell to change her mom. Except she's not specific, and for some reason her mom becomes a bear, of all things. What
You,
this?
I will turn your mother into a creature that will then be hunted until she dies.
It's. I don't want to say it's. So like Mordor asking for the strength of 10 men and becoming a bear, very flimsy, but I guess that makes some sense. Here, what? I can't take this seriously. I really can't. And Merida's
Listen, the
like,
witch can only listen. The witch can only turn people into bears. Okay,
and Merida's like,
she's a bear witch.
and Merida's like really unlikable. I honestly argue she's probably the worst Pixar protagonist. I don't care that she learns to value her family or and her mother. I don't care that she realizes her mistakes. She's really selfish, and she constantly blames this whole situation on the witch when it was clearly her fault. It's it's also there's also a lot of butt jokes that I remember, and also a baby bear falls into a woman's bosom at one point. Yeah, that happened. It's just it's very bad. I don't like it. I've never
And it's
liked.
not even a baby. It's not even a baby bear. It's like a 6-year-old child of a triplets.
Mm-hmm. It's
It's something.
if this is I even people who like this movie, no one says this is their favorite, which I think is really telling.
Indeed,
Okay, Monsters University. I didn't like this
that's pretty
movie.
good
I didn't like this
at
movie
first.
at first when like I was like 7, 8. Like I didn't understand this movie, but now that as a college student, I under I've come to appreciate what this movie's trying to say, like its main message. I've come to appreciate like how your dreams may not always be what you really want deep down, and sometimes other avenues are, are presented, and you can take those. But I
Hmm.
think, and I think that's a really great message. The problem is that most of the movie is not about that. It's about I
The
think it's called
scare
the
game.
scare games, and also Team Uzma Kappa, who are not very funny, if I can be really blunt. Like my
They're meant to be like the jocks. I think like that's what they're supposed to be, jocks.
no,
Like that's what they represent. They represent like jocks. I think in just one of those
no, 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 like the outcasts essentially.
fraternities.
They're like the outcasts
I
essentially.
thought. I thought you were talking about the other group. I didn't remember what the other group was called.
I'm actually forgetting everyone's names. The dean. Actually, she was a pretty good character. Not gonna lie. Mike and Sully are still pretty funny. I'll give them that. And I really come to appreciate what this movie's trying to say. Especially, you have to be an adult, or at least starting college, in order to truly understand this movie. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe this movie can really get better. But I'm sorry.
Don't know.
It's poisoning the water hole. Inside Out.
Tragic. That's not too bad. It's not a bad movie. It's
I
a pretty good one I think, from the non-Renaissance of
I feel like Pixar needed
Oscar.
a win, and this was its win. Honestly, better than Up, I'd say. I've come to
Me, familiar. Sorry.
this movie is pretty great. And hold on, I think. Uh, uh, okay, wait. We can rearrange later. Inside Out's pretty good. I feel like the main message on how sadness is a very natural emotion is something a lot like adults need to learn, and that joy can be just as toxic as like fear or anger.
Toxic happiness. You can only be happy.
And
Why
also
aren't you happy?
also people okay, I'm not sure who started this. I'm not sure it was a collective effort. Joy's a antagonist, but she's not a villain. Let me make that really clear. Like
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
the
You don't have straight because you're an antagonist doesn't mean that you're a villain.
obviously the way she treats sadness is really garbage, but she clearly understands her mistake, and even in Inside Out 2, she learns her mistake. I also think this movie's really I didn't oh my gosh. This movie's really creative too when it comes to like showing off the mind, like long-term memory or abstract thought, imagination land. That's really creative.
Indeed.
Like this movie's a classic. Pixar needed a win after these two abominations. Like I don't like being mean to these movies. I want to make that clear. But it needs something. And also it's better than Up. Now, what a sad downgrade. Good Dinosaur. Honestly, the worst Pixar movie in my opinion. It's really boring.
It also doesn't have like like it doesn't look very interesting either, like visually.
Okay, my here's my one compliment. The environments are really pretty. It has very good looking water. That's it. The characters are actually blank canvases. The story is not there. It feels like this story was tied together with shoestring instead of rope.
Who says it wasn't?
And the villain is actually embarrassing. So Thunder, okay, no, Earl, right? He's the pterodactyl who worships storms, and if that sounds interesting, it isn't. The only part I liked was when he ate that little fox finnick thing. That was pretty funny. But other than that,
That was the only part of the movie.
those are the only two parts I like. The part where the fox dies and also the nature. The when the best thing I could say about your movie is that I like how it looks, that's not exactly a great sign, is it?
No, not terribly.
This movie's really boring. I'm gonna be really blunt. I'm forgetting things about this movie. Let's talk about a movie that's okay, not amazing, but at least it's better. Better than Cars 1. Not Monsters University though. So I think Finding Dory is the best example of how Dory as a character, I love her, right? We all love her. But she's not protagonist material, if that makes sense.
She's meant to be the silly sidekick. I'm gonna call her anything.
Like I appreciate what this movie says about disabled, like how it's treated as really normal. I appreciate that. And also, but this movie's not bad. And I will say this: the Hank Octopus guy was easily the best part of the movie. I think we can all agree on that fact.
I'm gonna
The
be 100% honest. I don't remember most of it.
the aquarium's a fun setting. Marlin like regresses for some reason. Like obviously he's not like obviously if he's not okay. Oh my gosh. Like I feel like he's regressed. I feel like the first movie was all about him not learning to be so overprotective with Nemo and Dory. But now I feel like he's just
Oh, it's just Nemo, wasn't it? Just Nemo.
yeah, just Nemo. The story's slightly weaker. The characters besides Hank aren't the most memorable. I appreciate this movie's not copy paste though. Like it would have been just easy just to say, "Oh no, Dory's been kidnapped. We need to find her." No, this movie's actually okay. It's kind of like that, but it does enough differently.
In terms of being different.
I can't wait for Finding Marlin though. Now that's gonna be a banger right there.
That'll be fun in the aquarium.
Cars 3. This movie's
Better than
really,
Cars 2, and I'd say I think better than Cars 1.
really. I thought this was the worst out of the three. It's nothing happens. Like actually, I'm actually struggling to remember. I think I would have forgotten this movie if I didn't write things down. Uh, it's second most boring. I actually can't remember anyone's names. Oh my god, I actually can't remember the vehicle coach's name. Oh wait, Jackson Storm. That guy. He's like Chick Hicks, but like worse. And Chick Hicks was like one of the few things I liked about the first Cars.
Birthday Chick Hicks was a cheater, while Jason Storm is just he's antagonistic because he's what
So
very, very, very cocky, and also like the newest generation of cars.
I didn't
So
laugh a
he's like
sing-
stupid to be quick.
I didn't laugh a single time. I remember that part at least. Not a single joke made me laugh. And
Oof.
and also the plot is that Lightning McQueen is becoming old and senile and blah blah blah. This world makes no sense, and the world becomes really
I
bad.
don't think it's that. I don't think that it's that he's old and senile, but he's outdated.
He's outdated
Basically,
essentially.
just old.
So he needs to come to terms with the fact that the new generation's gonna just take over. And like I don't know, man. It's not. It's
He basically becomes the mentor
it
figure
doesn't
that
sound like
the Hudson Hornet was.
like it shouldn't be boring like this plot line, but it just is, and I can't explain why. I I think okay. I do think Cars 2, like, if we were ranking these on, like, objectively best to worst, Cars 2 is definitely worse than all these movies. But I think I prefer Cars 2 because it's not boring. I've always said this. One of my main things, I prefer movies that make me angry versus movies that make me feel nothing. Because when I'm angry, I can say I felt a thing, even if it's negative. These
Makes
two,
sense.
these two are really boring, which is why and Brave is a really bad movie, but I still felt something. These two I felt nothing with, which is why they're at the bottom. And also Coco 2, which I should probably hopefully it's better than Cars 2 at least, right?
Hopefully, but also don't think that should have been made. Also, it's the first time I've actually heard that it's being made.
Let's talk about Coco though. Yeah, this movie's
Coco's good. Right?
Coco's pretty great.
Solid banger. S tier or something.
Better than Finding honestly better than Finding Yeah, I say better than Toy Story the first.
Really
Like
good
this
message, really good animation, really good like theming.
what a great depiction of Mexican culture. An actually great twist villain. I must have forgotten that because I'm still reeling from the how bad the Cars 2 twist villain was.
Miles Axelrod.
I will say the hatred of music is a bit unrealistic. And then I remembered
It's a
my
bit stupid, but also there are just random people in the world that be like, I hate this because blah blah blah. It's like,
but then I realized this is a Spanish family, in which case, yeah, no, that makes sense. Also, Miguel did nothing wrong. He's an actual child. Stop comparing him to the actually smart adults. I'm gonna be really blunt.
what are some people trying to compare him to like that or something online?
Yeah.
Like what? You should have just followed with your family's legacy or something of hating music.
Mm. Yeah, this movie's pretty great. It looks great. The Okay, I didn't like how the Remember Me song got spammed to oblivion, but that scene where he's playing the guitar for his grandmother, yeah, that's pretty great too. Overall,
You
great
mean,
movie.
remember me when I go to travel far, remember me.
I will say this
You mean that
though,
song?
fuck Disney for trying to copyright strike Dia de los Muertos. I can't believe they thought for even a fraction of a second that
What?
they thought they can get away with it. Yeah, they tried to copyright strike a holiday.
Yeah, this is reasons why I'm not a big fan of companies. There's one company that I'm a fan of, and it's not really surprising that I'm a fan of, I'd say.
Incredibles 2.
Couple
So
2 is just a
it, it,
copy
it's
and paste.
it's really it's not the worst Pixar movie. I don't think it's I don't want to play with you anymore. But like this movie's just such a huge downgrade. And I
No, there's no point to existing. Like, just toss into I don't want to play with you anymore. So because you have a better version of it that literally has the exact same thing. The only difference between the two is that Bob's and Helen's roles are swapped. That is the only difference.
like I've heard people trying to say that like if Incredibles 1 didn't exist, this movie would actually you'd look about this movie more favorably. But I don't know. I feel like the script is just broken on its own.
The movie would also be entirely different as well. The script would have to been entirely different.
Like this script reeks of first draft is something I really noticed.
It reeks of just being garbage. Again, it's just a copy and paste. I don't want to continue. I don't want to make a sequel to The Incredibles unless if it's like I add something meaningful. Like then a decade later makes it with zero meaning just to collect a paycheck.
The twist villain, okay, even people who like Incredibles 2, like who say it's pretty good, even they agree the twist villain is really bad. And like it's pretty easy to see why. Her plan is so convoluted for quite literally no reason. So like the villains so like Hero's reputation already, right? She's trying to ruin it essentially by brainwashing them. Except their reputation is already in the garbage by the time the movie starts. So why did she have to do all this?
She wants to put them firmly in the dirt or something. I don't know.
Why doesn't she just use those goggles that she clearly has to just mind control a few superheroes and then cause damage? Why not just do that?
Because she's retarded.
Like, even people who like this movie admit the villain's really bad. The action scenes are still pretty good, I'll give it that. Brad Bird can still has pretty good action scenes. Edna's still the best character. The side characters like Void and the Owl and the Old Man, they meant nothing. Like, what was the point of
They don't have
introducing?
any. They don't have any real meaning. The only thing you can give them is story building. Like, sorry, not story building, world building.
Like, I thought Void, like being introduced as this important character, would come back. Like when Violet fought her, she would take off her goggles and they would work together. Like that would make sense, but no, that doesn't happen.
Oh yeah, that's you're referring to when you're referring to Void. I didn't even remember who that was. That's the person that makes
The
portals,
portals,
right?
which is actually pretty OP now that I think about it.
Yeah, what was the point of even like introducing her and then just having like a good 10 minutes or something just talking with her? There's like no point to that.
Again, I feel like this is the best depiction of how a movie can be a bad movie and a bad sequel for completely different reasons. They don't have to be mutually the same thing. Honestly, it may sound like I just like hate this movie, but I kind of just feel more indifferent than anything else to Incredibles 2.
I don't think it should have been made because it's just a copy of the first, a shittier version of that.
Okay, Toy Story 4. As a movie, I think it's fine, right? I
It
don't think
shouldn't have been made.
it obviously should not have been made. It really does ruin Toy Story 3's ending. But I feel like none of the Toy Story movies like on their own are actually bad films. They're pretty good.
They're fine. Just that it's like you need to know when to let a thing die.
It's great to see Bo Peep again, I will say that, but I feel like her being gone was not this big mystery, right? Like in Toy Story 3, it just sorry, my brother. I feel like Toy Story 3, it just said that she just went away with time, like with Squeak and Etch. Like I feel like her coming back was not this big idea. Or no, you talk now.
What you saying that for me to talk?
Yeah.
I'm still gonna be honest. The main stuff I just remember about it was like things I wasn't the biggest fan of. Like Sporky was annoying. They weren't very visually interesting because it was just a spork with the stupid like furry Twizzler, like furry metal Twizzler that was just
Yeah.
strapped around his bottom and with a face drawn on him.
Uh,
One, that's just boring. Two, not very visually engaging. It's like, what do you get from that? It's just stuff you find in a garbage. Like, there's nothing that they could have built him at least with things that could represent things.
Ducky and Bunny
But
weren't. Oh,
I think the only thing that he was supposed to maybe represent, if you want to say like whole on anything, is just oh, creativity. It's a child being creative and making a thing. But it's like I don't think even as a child, for me, I would make that.
yeah. Ducky and Bunny aren't really interesting. The side characters like Rex, Slinky, Mister and Mrs. Potato Head, they're cameos. Even Jessie's a pretty much a cameo, and she's literally been a main player since the second movie. It's really weird.
Wasn't like even Buzz Lightyear somebody just like a cameo, like almost everyone except for like Woody or
I have
something.
no idea what they did to Buzz. Like he's actually really dumb in this movie. So his whole thing is that his voice box is his like conscious kind of, right? Except that makes no
It's what
sense.
makes us toys
I feel
or
like that's
something.
something not even Toy Story 1 Buzz would probably believe. Actually, wait, no, he probably would. Not gonna lie.
Also, also the voice box does not make sense. I feel like you're trying to say that the voice box is their soul because plenty of those toys would not have a voice box, like Mr. Slinky. The
Yeah,
Slinky dog, he definitely does not have a voice box. He's just a Slinky dog. He's meant to be like those really, really long, like bagel dogs. Sorry, not bagel dogs, wiener dogs.
yeah. It's not the worst. It's not the worst. It's not the worst. Definitely. Oh wait, no, sorry. It's not a bad movie. Okay, I just want to make that really clear. It's not like bottom tier, but it's definitely the worst Toy Story movie, and no one's gonna really argue with that. And
Definitely, and I'm not looking forward to five.
okay, let me rearrange a few things. I think yeah, Monsters University can go up. These five say these four. I think these four.
Monsters University is definitely pretty good. I'd liked Monsters University the couple times I watched it. I think I've watched that like 3 or so
Man,
times.
I don't want to push up down though. Oof. Okay, let's just quickly finish everything else.
You don't have to. You can just add more things to a lineup where you can just be like, okay, which one's better, which one's worse,
I'm just
and then
worried
just
that
put like
I'm just worried that B
swap the
tier.
positions.
I'm worried A tier's getting like really crowded. That's what I'm worried about.
Makes sense.
Okay, onward. So again, another thing like Monster University. I appreciate what this movie says about like how your siblings can be your parental figures. I do think that's a message not a lot of movies tend to go for. But other than that, eh. I mean the two main guys are fine. I guess I didn't really feel attached to either of them. The world is. I feel like the world could definitely be interesting, but I feel like they just don't really use it that well.
Honestly, most studios don't do it very well anymore. They make the most basic bones. They don't actually use it. Like, I made this entire thing that it's like there's a billion different species or whatnot, and it's like I choose just to only involve humans or whatever. It's like,
Yeah, this
okay,
is the jokes aren't very good. The concept of like a pair of dad legs being the main catalyst, that's funny, but like man, I wish the guy just went more off the walls with it. I don't know. This is like the who cares movie of the list. If I can be really blunt, no, it's not Incredibles. It's not Incredibles two. I at least deserves that kind of respect at bare minimum.
at least it would be a unique concept.
Okay, have you seen Soul?
I have watched Soul, and I thought it was an okay movie. But also, I've heard about how apparently there's like a very big trope where it's like, if you have a black main character, you have to turn them into an animal because otherwise, you know. But people won't be interested. They don't want to watch a black guy. It's like I couldn't care less if it's a black
Bruh.
guy.
So I watched this when I was 12. I thought it was pretty good, but I don't think you have to be like a bit older to truly grasp like what this movie's trying to say. I think, and now that I am older, it's become one of my favorites. I'll admit it. Like obviously, him becoming a cat's not ideal, but honestly,
It's
it could have
pretty
been
dumb.
worse. 22 is really funny. Like how she seems so narcissistic about everything. And also the whole I feel like this movie's message of how
You
like
mean pessimistic or something?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'd call her a narcissist.
I thought this movie would really go downhill after Joel became a cat, but honestly, I think they used it really well. I really love this movie's message on how life is really just enjoying the simple things. You don't have to live grand. You don't have to do anything grand, anything that's worth putting on pages. Sometimes just living life and enjoying the small things. That's enough. And I think that's a really deep message. I didn't really grasp when I was 12.
You want your life to be meaningful to you. That's what you want.
Yeah, I'd say
You don't
so.
need to have it be meaningful to all of humanity. So it's always nice if you get it to where people remember you, at least in some form.
Another thing I appreciate is that
Because
okay, well, first off, Terry, like the villain lady, she was pretty funny. Even though the way she's defeated kind of makes no sense. So like,
is Terry even a villain lady? I thought there was like a random
oh,
like
she's
guy
she's the
basically.
accountant. So she's like, obviously there's a soul. her things off the count. There's a soul missing, and she's just trying to do it. Honestly, she's more an antagonist, if I can be really blunt. But like the way she's defeated kind of makes no sense. So 22 becomes a monster, and then she just then she literally just like does this to her body, and then that's the last we see of her. It was really that easy, huh?
You mean basically tapping on Terry's shoulder, and then it's like, "Hey, look over there!" Nudges counter.
Yeah, that part was
Look,
pretty funny.
what? Look over where? Uh, I guess it's gone. All right. Hmm. All right.
I do
There's
appreciate.
something.
I appreciate how this villain. Oh my gosh. I appreciate how this movie's afterlife is not religious, which I think could have been a pretty big mistake to make.
In a way, it could have still been to like some form of religious. The door leads to
Somewhere.
something.
We'll never
You can
know.
just put in the cards into your head. It could lead to just an abyss. It could
Okay.
lead to reincarnation. It could lead to heaven. It could lead to whatever.
This has become, yeah. I think Soul's become one of my favorites. Is it? I don't think I don't think these three could ever be breached, but I wouldn't be surprised if this slowly crept up. Maybe this is one of those. Maybe this is like one of those fine wine kind of movies where like it gets better with
It
age. I'd
gets better
say.
with time. Yeah,
Luca.
Luca's bad. At least I hated the style of it. I never watched it. Sure, because it looks horrid. I
You
hate
hate
3D Bean Mouth.
3D Bean Mouth. Yeah, this is like the start of like the pretty bad. Can you give me a
Pretty
sec?
shit animation.
I just need to. Um.
Yeah, you're fine.
Anyway, so this movie's not like your Toy Stories or your Ratatouilles. It's not teaching you like how to live your life or how to fight your taxes or whatever. It's literally just a movie about two sea monster bros, just going to Italy. And you know what? I
I don't know
like
if it's like bros. It's like flipping dumbass,
children.
weird looking kids.
I think this movie's underrated. If I could be really blunt, it's not the best Pixar movie. I'm gonna be really blunt. There's a lot of problems with it. The villain, first off, is kind of embarrassing, but intentionally so. In fact, this movie in general is just really laid back.
I
It, it
can't put any stick on it because I've never watched it. I just saw the animation. It's just, yeah, I don't like this.
it's really simple. It's
I
probably
mean, I mean, honestly, the big thing with like eating a meal is what you see first. Like that's what give you your initial first impression. And my first impression, if it wasn't the best, like it could have been this grade A type of meal, but to me, it looked like you were serving me like a pile of shit.
come on, not even fast food.
Yeah, I guess just fast food. It's just something that I don't really want to eat, or that's just like really just. This is just looks like it was made for children. Like really, really young kids. It looks like it was like, if it's like Cocomelon but adults or
It, it's
something.
it's simple. It's really simple, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It's definitely. What? Wait, I've misspelled. There's a snake in my boot the entire time. Why didn't anyone tell me? You were here the whole time and you said nothing.
I haven't looked at there. I've also been partially busy with something real quick.
Okay, turning
Just been trying
red.
not to give myself a burn.
Turning red.
I haven't watched that either. I've heard stuff about it, and it has the same issue with the bean mouth. Just that it doesn't
Yeah,
look as horrific
it's
as
bean
Luca.
mouth, but unlike Luca, which I actually appreciate, for what it presents. Okay,
I
so
remember that I heard something about how it's like flipping turning red, like was bringing the puberty conversation to like
it,
flipping
it
theaters for like
it's becoming a
4-year-old kids. It's like,
it's becoming a
Mom,
it's
what?
becoming
What's going on with them?
so they're trying to equate menstruation, which is actually what the period's name is called, by the way, to becoming a giant red panda, and like I appreciate this movie for trying to cover these extremely sensitive topics, but also
It should
why
not have been rated for like flipping 4-year-olds.
why panda? Like if she's a furry, just admit it.
Chinese, it's because Chinese heritage or something. Like red pandas from China.
I,
Like what would you rather market? Would you rather market like a flipping? huge red fluffy panda like through plushies, or would you rather market like a flipping tiger? Honestly, I don't know which one would work better. I know that Kung Fu Panda did pretty well. I wouldn't be
I
surprised they had plushies of like, what's her name? How did I forget her name?
This movie's really cringy too. Like it's probably the cringiest Pixar movie, and it's by
I would
intention.
not be surprised.
The mother is an actual lunatic. Like that was her name, Mei Lin Lee. There we go. Mei Lin Lee's mother is an actual lunatic. So her daughter was caught like drawing pictures of a guy she thought was hot. Instead of just having a deep conversation about this, her mother literally went to the store where the guy works and literally brought the
Stay
papers.
away from my daughter.
Literally brought the papers and says, "You've just lost a valuable customer."
POV, it's the flipping stereotype of like the overprotective dad, but this time's the overprotective mom or something. I don't know.
So, like,
I guess good job on swapping the stereotype, but it still isn't. Sorry, not a stereotype, like a trope, but it's like it still isn't very interesting. It's not a very fun one. Also, sorry. Did he die? I think Josh died. I can't believe this.
what happened?
Josh Stardust died. Oh, you just stopped talking all of a sudden. It's like, did
Oh,
you just
sorry,
die or
sorry, sorry.
something?
No, I was talking with my sister.
Okay.
Turning red. If you appreciate what this movie puts down, more power to you. But it's definitely not a movie I'm going to come back to. Not willingly, anyway.
Sorry, Dad, can we please watch Turning Red? I heard that it's lovely for my
Light,
2-year-old friend or
light
something.
year.
Lightyear's abysmal. That's
I
garbage. That goes into F tier. It goes straight into the shitter bin.
So I heard nothing but awful things about this movie, or at the bare minimum, it was really boring. But I don't like. So this and Elemental were the only movies I hadn't seen until now, and I wanted to give it a fair shot because one of my main principles: you shouldn't judge something unless you fully like experience it. IGN should not be making game reviews only 40% of the way in. I think we could agree on
Give me a
that.
sec. I need to answer a call from my mom.
Hmm. This movie's abysmal. It's really bad. I am upset that I even thought for a second this movie had something. Okay, so what happens? So Lightyear is about Buzz Lightyear, right? This movie is the movie that inspired the Buzz Lightyear toy and Andy's love for it. And I gotta say, if this is the movie that rocked Andy's world, that can have fucking awful taste. But anyway, so they're on this alien planet, right? And then Lightyear accidentally gets stranded, and and everyone really hates him for it. Except they don't. Like the only one who wants to get back home is Lightyear himself. No one seems to care about the fact they're not home anymore. And I gotta say, when the main conflict is something that only exists within the main character's head, that's not compelling. It's not. It feels like it's wasted time. I'm sorry. Also, so this movie features time dilation, which is basically just time travel, and it the film makes no sense. The villain actually makes no sense. It's Zurg, but now he's not Buzz Lightyear's father. He's an alternate timeline version of Buzz that came from the future. The issue is that nothing supports this movie. Like nothing ever hints that there's alternate timelines you can go to. It just suddenly comes up. Like what? Also, this movie takes stuff like really seriously. Like Buzz Lightyear is essentially a parody of sci-fi elements. He's Zurg's dad. He's Zurg's son because well, Darth Vader parody. I feel like if this movie was like a parody of sci-fi, that could have worked. It really could have worked. But no, this movie takes itself really seriously. It doesn't work. This movie's really bad. It's not the worst Pixar movie, if that's any consultation, but it's below Cars 3. I'm not gonna pretend it's not. Elemental. it. I'm not sure how people will feel about Elemental. It's better than Cars One, Finding Dory. No, I say Finding Dory's better. So this movie's two movies, right? It's about the Fire Girl and Water Boy love story. Oh wow, how progressive! And also about immigrant family that's coming to make their home in Element City. Uh, romance first. The romance is fine, I guess. It's if I can be really blunt, these two just kind of act like best friends. I'm being serious, and also, so the romance is fine, right? And also, and this movie's like two different movies, and the second movie is about this immigrant story, and like the it clearly comes from like the message is clear, right? For Elemental, like I can see how the director clearly was inspired by their own life, but on the other hand, another one of the biggest problems I have with Zootopia is how they're trying to create these non-humans. Okay, wait, no, they're trying to use these non-humans to explain real human issues. I feel like the same problem happens here. These fire people and water people, they're not people. They act like us, and they may have some sort of technology to us, but they're not humans. They don't suffer the same problems we do. And I just feel like equating immigrants to like different elements is kind of insensitive, if I can be really blunt. And I feel gross I have to explain that because like that should be really obvious. I don't know. I don't dislike this movie. I do think this movie has a few things going for it. It has heart. It's good intentioned. It's not like a cash grab or anything, but I'll be honest, it's not one of my favorites. Inside Out 2, yeah, I'd say it's better than the first one. Now, granted, I do think the first one's a lot more creative and a lot more like I do think the message hits a lot harder for me. But this one's honestly really fun. Inside Out 2. The new characters are really fun. Anxiety, I think, is such a great antagonist because it's clear she wants to help Riley, but her actions really do doom her. And I think that's perhaps the best depiction of anxiety imaginable. Uh, I wrote other stuff down. Hold up. I feel like this movie is a really great depiction of how you like gain emotions across your life, and I do appreciate how her sense of self. Oh, welcome back.
Yeah.
We're talking about Inside Out 2 now.
I have not still watched that. I just know about how panic kicks like every single emotion out of the system,
Anxiety.
basically. So yeah, sorry,
Yep. Yeah,
anxiety.
we talked about anxiety. I do appreciate how this movie's like resolution, her sense of self. It wasn't just like just pretending to be a good person. It was admitting everything she does wrong. I think that's a really strong message. Because
Possibly.
your mistakes and all your bad moments, they're still you, whether you wish to admit them or not.
True. They're part of your history.
And yeah, I think this movie's better than the first one. I do think the message in the first one, like how accepting sadness is a real emotion, natural emotion, I think that hits harder for me. But I just like Inside Out 2 more. Also has Lance Slashblade, who is arguably one of the funniest characters in all of Pixar.
That's good to hear.
Elio, maybe the most mid Pixar movie, I think.
You mean like very boring one that like, also got like rewritten or something?
So like yeah, this is like one of those Troy production type of movies, and you can really feel it. Like it feels like this movie was trying to do some. It feels like this movie wants to say something, right? And it just can't because it just doesn't have the time
I've
or the
been
permission.
silenced. Or something.
The So this movie's about a kid named Elio, right? He wants to be abducted by aliens because human life sucks or something. And I will admit the alien design is it's not great, but it could look worse, truthfully. The villain is okay, I guess. He's like maybe
I
mid.
don't know.
He's like maybe
Who
mid.
even is the villain?
Lord Grygon, the Blood Emperor of Hyler. I can't believe I actually remember that. I didn't even write that down.
That is insane.
Yeah,
How do you remember that?
I'm impressed as you, Elio. Okay, there is one thing I feel passionate about, and that's this little slug guy on the poster, Glorden. He is so adorable and so pure. I would fight wars for this kid. That's all I'm gonna say.
I would fight wars for this kid, just not this administration or something.
I will say I do think it's unfair. This is the movie no one went to see. Look up its box office because it's abysmal.
Yeah, it's a really bad performing movie, but it also just looked boring and had the same old bean mouth, which people aren't really
Beam.
into.
Sorry. I do think this is unfair. This is the one no one wanted to see because truthfully, it's not. It's not bad. It really isn't. It has heart, but I also think it's really corporate in a lot of ways, which is something I can't really say about like Elemental. Honestly, this one might go a bit down. No, I think it's better than Toy Story 4 at the bare minimum.
I have no idea. I haven't watched it.
Okay, Hoppers. I did not have high expectations for this movie. This is the newest
I haven't
one.
even watched it. I just know about the silly
Lizard.
lizard or something.
Like this movie
Which
looks.
I'll say that's a bit silly, and I like the style of that one from what I saw because it wasn't like stupid cartoony bean mouth trying to translate from 2D to 3D, which is a horrible idea.
It's not Bean Mouth, thank goodness. It looks like a normal movie, and I wanted to give this movie a fair shot because it was one of the two I hadn't seen before, and you know what? It was one of
Do you enjoy it?
it's the funniest Pixar movie. I really like this one. I was not
That's great
prepared.
to hear.
I was not prepared for how crazy this movie gets. So like it's like the first half is pretty normal, right? There's a girl named Mabel. She's in college. Instead of just being a normal person, she wants to save this grove she had with this grandmother, and then she becomes a beaver. And like this all sounds normal, right? And then she squishes the insect queen, and there's a flying shark and human robots. And I think
What?
this movie
Human robots?
this movie loses its mind in the second half, and I love it.
You mean that it goes deranged? It goes on drugs? It
This
took ecstasy or something?
the part where the queen dies, like my entire theater laughed for a whole minute. It was so funny. This movie's really funny. I think it's the funniest. If it's any consultation.
Randomly kills just the queen of ant nest or something.
Uh huh.
Burst out laughing.
I do think this movie's pretty great, and I hope this doesn't become another Elio because this movie actually deserves your money this time around. I'm putting up down,
Well,
and we're putting Bugs Life up or down. Okay, so now we're on to the concept movies. Okay, we haven't seen any. We haven't seen any of these movies, and we don't know what's gonna happen. But just like conceptually, my throat hurts.
that's unfortunate.
Toy Story
I'm
5.
just rushing lotion.
Toy Story 5. So I still have to.
Get out of here. We don't need another sequel.
We don't
We don't
need
need
this.
like 16
We
of
don't.
them.
We don't need this movie. I also think the idea of La Tablet being the main antagonist is it. I appreciate it's ahead of its. I appreciate the fact it's still relevant to today, but I feel like how is this dumbass iPad like the main villain? Like how?
Proceeds a clip of child screaming from like Wreck-It Ralph or something.
I don't know. I don't. Will this movie be bad? Uh, I at least hope it will be better than Toy Story 4, but that's not really a high bar.
Not really, indeed.
Gato. So it
I was surprised that went as well as it did.
so Gato. It's about this. I'm not kidding you. This cat who's literally he literally owes money to the I don't know cartel. I guess. And he's literally trying to avoid that. Again,
I'm
we don't.
so
We do
you
not.
basically saying like cat.
Uh huh.
And there's like this movie's about the cat, but and also the cartel. It's like, please don't tell me it's gonna be like some stupid thing with like the Samurai Jack director or something. Making the shitty odd dog humping owner's leg movie or whatever.
Uh, who knows? It's not gonna be like that kind of. I hope it's not that movie. Thank goodness. Um,
I hope it's not a Pixar's
let's
version of that.
let's It has to be better than Luca, right? And also, I guess Bug's Life. Sure. Yeah, that works for me. Incredibles 3. So Brad Bird's coming back, right, for this third one, and we know.
Listen, I can only come back if I want to add something. Again,
I I don't want to say like this movie's doomed from the start, like Coco 2 is, because I do think this movie can like bounce back. This franchise. It's gonna take a lot of effort and a lot of time, but I do think this franchise is salvageable. Well, I want to be optimistic. I'd say probably below Gato. It's a snake in boot. And
if you technically think about it, you have a couple movies that you missed, or at least two.
what I miss?
It was technically made by Disney, but it's off of one of Pixar's brands.
Oh,
Like
Planes.
Cars.
It was
Yeah, the
Planes.
plane movies.
I've never seen those movies. No one talks about those movies, which I think is really telling because people like to defend Cars for some reason.
I've watched them, or I've watched the first one. The first one's fine. It has a bit of funny moments. It's not terrible, but neither is it good. I haven't watched the second one though. Apparently, it has a better general story, but the ending could have been a lot different instead of just yeah.
All right, I think. Hmm,
Well, now my legs are tender.
I think maybe this is it. I think this is the complete tier list. Top three. Uh,
Nice.
Coco. No, I think Coco is below Toy Story 3. Finding Nemo. Is Inside Out above Finding Nemo though? Oof.
Who knows?
Nah. I shouldn't
Actually, actually,
I shouldn't bunch up the Inside Outs. Monster University, Gato, Incredibles 3, Bugs Life. I think no, Bugs Life's above Luca. I think this is it. This is the complete tier list. All I
not too bad.
the
Honestly, I would love to have seen what a bandit would have said and just start screaming at you. It's like, how dare you rate these like this? I knew that you'd rate it like this. You flipping buffoon.
so so if there's anything you should take away from this stream or this tier list, I don't like the Cars franchise very much, and you shouldn't either. And also, I think Turning Red's not very good. Yep, that's the main takeaway you should get from this.
Turning red. How about turning blue?
Don't give them any more ideas. We got 3 sequels coming up, you know.
Hey, it's like what would they be able to do with turning blue and turning into a fish, into a walking blue fish, just Dory on legs?
So yeah, this was it. This was fun, right?
We're doing turning blue, and it's about this time for the periods, like pregnancy or something, with how fish like a crap ton of eggs or something.
There's not really a point to this video. I just thought it would be funny. Stay awesome.
Makes sense.
Whew.